After this horrible situation, that's the first time that happened to me, you know.
First time, really?
Of course, yeah.
What's happening here? They just now.
That's when I started walking in this dangerous area. Not only that, but throughout the country.
So before we talk about the...
It had been down, it's like more turmoil. I mean, there have been more gang violence all around the country. But I would say mostly in Port-au-Prince area. And I've been documenting so many people that have been displaced in their community because of gang violence. And I've been documenting exactly where they have been relocated. So I have been working on that, and we saw more police officers have been killed, and more civilians as well, which have been killed by this horrible situation. And it had been increasing all around Port-au-Prince area. It was assassinated, I think, 2 years ago.
Right.
President Jovenel from his home.
So the Prime Minister just left.
A couple of meetings that they had with the CARICOM community, which is the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And I believe that he went to Kenya as well. And on his way back to the country, all the gangs have assembled together and called themselves Viva Sam, which means live together.
Wow.
And they have decided to increase the violence so that they could keep the Prime Minister out of the country. So we have informed that he has been resigned. Most of the Port-au-Prince area, let's say about 90% of the whole Port-au-Prince area, which they have been now controlled. And the violence have been increasing. And let's say Pétionville is one of the safe places.
Yeah.
They have been some violence up in the mountain, but not actually right in the middle of Pétionville.
Right.
But there have been some violence not too far away from Pétionville area, where banks have been, they took money at the bank.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they went to a couple of banks and they broke into the banks.
That's crazy.
Schools were not despair from the violence, where a lot of schools were put in fire, and students are not able to go to school now for the past few months, and it has been quite a terrible situation. Arab contacted me. I believe that he was in the Caribbean. He contacted me when he was somewhere else. I don't know exactly. I can't recall what part of the world that it was, and we have been planning about this for a while. And he then told me that he was coming through the Dominican Republic, and I did mention to him that there would be, the border is closed. Mm-hmm. And that was the moment as well that the violence have been increasing in Port-au-Prince as well, where they stopped the flights from Cap to Port-au-Prince, and I believe that was the plan for him to fly to go Cap and then take a flight to Port-au-Prince.
Sure.
In the middle of all those gangs, I saw them, and I sent someone to the border to pick him up because I have contacts all over the country.
Sure.
When I do this kind of works.
Sure.
And people that I work with. So I sent to pick him up, and it was quite difficult for him to get through. And I reached the car, and I stayed in a hotel. I met him by a hotel, and then we started working right away. And then the next day, we worked as well. We went to the most beautiful part of Haiti, which is Cap-Haïtien, Labadie, and Ilara, which we changed the name now to Amiga Island. We did some good shoots there.
Nice.
And it's a former police officer, and his real name is Jimmy Cerise. And we decided to meet him to have an interview with him, and that was all set. And then we woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and we took the road, and I was driving. I started driving to the worst part of the woods, and then he could feel that I was a bit tired. Then he said, "Well, I can drive." And I asked him, "Do you have a license?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I do." And which I never see. But we drove, and I gave him the wheel, and then that was my time for me to just take a little rest.
How long is the drive?
The drive is 6 hours.
Okay.
And then, let's say 5 hours later, we met with a group of police officers that was a checkpoint in the Mibale area. And they decided to stop us, which they did, and they asked for a driver's license.
Oh.
Mr. Arab didn't have one.
Hey guys, while we're deep into the...
They asked us for some money, we gave to them, and we take some shots here with them. And as I was going back again to just lay back and relax, I'm a guy who's always curious, and I looked back and I saw that one of them raised up their phones. And to me, that was a bit strange. And what was strange as well is why he didn't offer a driver's license, but an ID card, but they took it and they accept that we leave. And I would assume that because we give them some money and they accept to do so. We kept driving, and I keep checking my phone at the same time to see if my contact actually saw the photo of my car.
Yeah.
Which was the arrangement.
Sure.
But yeah, we start driving, and there was some position where we didn't even have let's say signals, you know.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see if my contacts would actually read the message. He didn't read it. And we continue, and the bottom of the hill, an area called Mont Cabrit, which is Boat Mountain. Mm-hmm. And there was a big truck in front of us. And I didn't pay too much attention if the gang group was sitting on the left part of the road, but they stopped the big truck. So I'm a guy that in that area, when I'm driving, I drive fast. Speeding, and then one of them come around the truck and just pull a big gun on me.
Oh, wow.
And then I raised my hands, and I said, and he said, why did he stop? I said, I didn't see you guys. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I didn't see you. And then he came toward the car, and the door said, oh, I know you, I've seen you.
Oh, man.
Which, they said, I've seen you doing an interview with one of our soldiers, which is Chihuahua. That was the time that I was working with Chris List. We did an interview around that area with one of this gang. Now he's dead. And I said, okay, since they said they know me, they see me, not knowing, of course, I don't know these gang members, but they will actually let me go, and I will find my way out. And I start talking to them, and they said, well, come down and give us some respect. And then I came down and shook their hands, and then I pulled 10,000 good and said, well, this is my pass, because that's how it works. Any car that is passing by, and you pay an amount for your passage.
Sure. How much is that in dollars?
The one that's taking that money is the chief, because they have chief.
Yeah, sure.
That is, yeah. And I said, okay, where's the chief? And then the chief came, and he saw Arab in the car. And he said, is that a blonde? Is that a white man?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I didn't say it's a white man. I said, well, that's a journalist that is with me, a YouTuber. And we're on the way to do an interview. And he said, ask for him to come down.
Oh.
Then I went to Arab. I said, you know what? They asked for you to come down. Let me talk. Do not say a word.
Yep.
But with the original was changed when he came down. I don't want to go into details.
Sure, that's fine.
And then they decided to take us to a trailer, and then they put us inside of the trailer, and then they put two men, one with an M16 and other one with a shotgun, and they were high as
damn, dude,
and cracking cocaine. I could see it in their eyes. Can you help us find guns? And then he said, no, I can't help you find any guns. But there was a reason why they asked, because what he was showing on their phones.
That's crazy.
A shotgun on me and the M16, and they asked me to give them the gun. I said, which gun? I don't have guns on me. And they said, yes, you have guns under your pants. I said, I don't have any guns under my pants. And then they said, are you refused to give us the gun? I said, man, I have no guns. Why you keep asking for guns where I don't have any guns? And he pointed at me and he pulled the charger, the magazine, and it was full with charger, with ammunition in it. And he put it back and he dropped the guns, and then he put it back on me and said, if you don't pull down your pants and show me the gun, I will empty the whole charger on you.
Wow.
And there was the guy next to him with just that gun, that had his gun down. He said, what are you doing? Why don't you put the gun, why did you point at him? They all pointing at me. And Arab was sitting against the wall, and I was sitting on the table.
But you didn't have a gun. You didn't have a gun.
I pulled down my pants and showed them that there was no guns. And then they keep pointing at me. And at some moment, they will put the guns down. And I started talking to them, and I keep asking them, well, how do you guys get in that situation? How do you happen to be here? And one of them was telling me how he was just in prison, you know, while the prison just break out. There was a prison downtown Port-au-Prince and one that located in Guadeloupe as well, not too far from them. So Lamont Sanjou broke that prison. So that was one of the guys that just got out of prison that used to be part of the gang that come back to the gang.
Oh, because that...
And all the that was booked by the gang book.
Oh my God.
There was one, I think 3,600 escaped from it, and there was another one, I can't recall how many of them were escaped, but I know in the area, the compound where they put me, as I was able to interview a whole lot of them while I was in there.
But did you know?
The gang members have guns.
True.
But a gun was given to this guy because he was part of the gang before he got into prison. Because he told me what happened, that he was part of the gang, and then he had the land, and someone came and tried to steal the land from him. And he decided to shoot the man, and he shot two of them. And the police arrested him, and he was in jail, in prison for about 8 years. And able to talk to them in a way that they calm down, and they were like become cool in a bit, and then they flick.
Right in your face?
He was asking questions as well. Yeah, but he doesn't know the language. He doesn't also know the culture. And I was trying my very best to just calm him down. He doesn't speak English, so, Creole, either French, but he speaks some Spanish. So, yeah, that's how we were able to just calm them down, and then they put the guns down. And I sent some of them to buy cigarettes, and they got the cigarette, and they start smoking with me. So it's like because I wanted to get into the situation to find a way how we could get away from it. Afterward, they took our car that we rented, and they took it to pick up the bus, which is Lamont Sanjou. And they came back with a car and with a few cars again, a bunch of cars. They come back, and our car was there. And then they start asking our questions. They start asking us questions. And then there was some mistake that was being done in those questions with he told me, well, if you have one of those guys, which is a Vivant Sam, which the gang members, which knew that you were passing through, we will release you. I said, oh God, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay,
now let me try. And then I tried to call Barbecue. I couldn't reach him, but he was fighting at that time.
Okay.
I tried to call a guy named Campus. I could not reach him. But there were other guys that were out there that was in constant contact with me. But at that area where we were, there was no phone reception.
Yeah, sure.
So it would fall, it would come back. It would fall, it would come back. The signal would fall and come back. But then when I get in their cars, driving toward them, they came and just, the chief came, he put his arms around us, our neck. He said, you guys are going home to my house.
Oh,
and I said, we got kidnapped.
You said,
are you serious? I said, yes, we got kidnapped. And now we have to play our cards right.
Wow.
And see how we will not get hurt by them or get killed. They tried their best to stay alive in that situation. And right away when they're done doing that, they went to a house nearby and they looted everything that was in the house. Solar panel, blenders, anything that they could find. And I saw them coming and put it in the car and their cars, and they had a 15-year-old boy right beside me with a gun. So he was guarding us. And this guy is starting to fall asleep. And I had in mind to find a way and just take the gun away from him. That's why I was saying, maybe we can take the gun away from him and jet out. But the car was broken down. It's not a good car. So we decided, and I was like, hey, let's not do this stupid.
Yeah.
And then they drove us to their compound, which took about 45 to 1 hour. And we got there. They put us in a room. I guess that used to be the chief old house. That's where he used to live. But he built another house right beside it, which I find out from people in there. That's the house he built for his mother. And that's where his mother also lives. I mean, I won't be able to call my mother because if I call her, she would have a heart attack, and I will call my brother. And then they decided, okay, we'll allow you to call the brother. But then they said, they keep asking me, do you have a family? Do you have this? Do you have that? I said, I don't have anyone. I'm here alone.
Smart.
Yeah, so I don't want them to know anything.
Yeah, of course. But did they knew who you were from interviews and videos?
Areas where I went in conduct interviews, and many of them know it.
Is this the same gang as
Guadalupe area?
Okay.
When it's Kennedy, when you go into the east or the central Plata.
Got it.
So that's where the gangs. And I have no contact with them. I don't know anyone that's part of the gang. The only person I do recall that used to be with them is Wowo. Wowo is that guy that we had the interview with.
Yeah.
Past me and Chris.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, we're not gonna get out.
What are you asking for?
$600,000. We're gonna have to find a way to just play with them, play the cards with them, and lower the amount. And It came back at $500,000.
$.
Oh yeah, and they came back there like 300,000. Like they're going by. At some point, I was not counting days. And I would every day I come there, I was, how many days I've been here?
Were they treating you,
They came and said, we are going to buy you groceries. And they went to a supermarket and they bring groceries. They bring bread, they bring nuts, they bring a juice. This kind of juice, not natural juice.
Yeah.
This kind of juice in the box. And they with the prisoners and also some of his soldiers they're not having food.
Right.
So we share it with them. And then also they will bring spaghetti. So they will feed us spaghetti for a couple of days. And then some rice that they will feed us. We treat people that we kidnap. And the first time that I heard that it's a kidnap.
Oh.
But the whole time, it's like we were his visitors. And this is how you treat your visitors. You just lock them in a place, and then you're forcing them to pay a ransom. While I was in there as well, there was a lot of alcohol that was in that room. There was boxes of alcohol from the ground to the ceiling in that bathroom.
Wow.
Oh, yes. And the bathroom was not a proper bathroom. Even the toilet was not proper. So there was no cover in it, and we had to bathe in a bucket of water, something that you just drop on. We had to use the same soap the whole time.
What were you and Arab talking about?
Because I was saying there is no way that he's gonna pay this amount of money, and they didn't ask you for money because they said, if we see you on the street, there is no way that we kidnap you.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have anybody that can give that money for you. And at some point they said, there was a couple of them that said, we could have let you go, I said, even if you would let me go, I would not go anywhere without him. Because this is my client.
That's why you're
situation with him. I'm not going anywhere without him. And I think the best way that we can do is try to find a way that get a good settlement. And that way we could leave this area.
Sure.
At some point they wanted to keep Arab because the most funny thing is when he mentioned to them that I could teach you how to make money on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. And I was like, now even if we give money, perhaps they're just gonna keep us here as slaves because they have slaves, And I said, Arab, this is what he said. You should not be saying that. Let's try to change the narrative and said they need a bank account because they said they're not dealing with them. And they said the only money that they want is cash. So let's tell them YouTube is not monetized in Haiti. Instagram does not monetize in Haiti. TikTok is not, and they need a bank account. You can use their name without any bank.
Right.
So that will discourage them. So they won't have to take apart anything like that.
Right.
And then it was like, okay. And then he came. We tell them that. So they become discouraged and they don't want to deal with that YouTube, whatever it is again. We're going to keep you here for a little while because we really do know how to make that money.
Wow. At what points did you...
There was a moment where the ransom was already paid without us paying exchange. So I think that was a mistake and how the exchange was being made, because we had to be there when the exchange was being made. They took the money and they come back and said, the money they offered is not enough. We didn't pick up the money. But they already picked it up. They said, we're asking for 100,000. And that's what we can do for you. And they start coming and we keep calling them and keep calling them back and keep calling them back and say, we'll take 70,000. And then I said, you know what? If we don't do anything, we're probably going to get killed. And I was thinking of sending the information to his YouTubers, and maybe that will raise the awareness and then people would know about it. And I said, no. It needs to go local first. When it go local, they will not take his ass because they know we work with international press.
Right.
Especially me. And you're also from the US. So they will think it is us. We won't have our phones anymore. Let's make it go local, and they will think it's the guy that is doing the exchange here and Port-au-Prince that did it. We dropped the charge on him. They don't know him. They don't even know his name. They don't even have his number. He used another number for everything. Done. And then at one point they became angry. They had me listen to one journalist here that was saying that an American YouTuber along with a local Haitian journalist have been kidnapped, and Lamo Sonju have kidnapped them coming down from Monkawit, Goat Mountain, and they are still being hostage. And they got upset, and the confusion was being raised in there. And it said, okay, now it's time to send it international.
Tonight, a Metro Atlanta man allegedly kidnapped by a dangerous gang in Haiti.
And then so it went international as well. Everyone knows what's happening.
Bro,
exchanged us, and they took the money. I said, oh, if we don't do anything now, those guys are probably going to kill us. And there will be no trace of us because no one knows that we're here except for our family.
Right.
You know? And then we did that. And then when they said that the money was not enough, and they tried, the negotiator that was here in Haiti, he tried and said, well, I have 6,000 more. And then they decided that they were going to take that 6,000 and exchange that. But when every media was, talking about it, there was an article about it. But to tell you, they have people working in the media working with them. This guy is too dumb to find out all these things. But USNBC knows. Because there is I think the USNBC have put some money aside to help get this guy. I think it's $1 million. I don't remember. I can't remember.
Really? The U.S. Embassy offered $1 million?
I believe so. I think it's a U.S. Embassy or whoever from the U.S. 17 missionaries.
Okay.
If you recall.
Yeah, I remember.
So the money was already offered to anyone that can help us get this guy.
Oh.
To the amount of money.
Oh, to get the guy. Got it.
Yeah. So he become afraid, though. They don't want the U.S. Embassy to know that they could just kidnap an American again.
Got it.
And then they decided at the last day, release us. And then he came and says, I'm going to release you guys. Get ready. And then the same time, there was a guy that arrived, the guy that was doing the negotiation for inside. He speaks perfect English. He used to live in an orphanage. And he came to me so sad. And I said, Emerson, and he had a nickname called, I don't know if his real name or which one is his nickname, Pop Shove. And he's a rapper. He loves to rap. And he did a little bit of rapping for us as well while we were there. And he said, I lost 2 soldiers. But at that night, before they released us, they went to war with another gang member, which means a soldier that they have placed and which does not follow the orders. So they decided to go and fight with him the whole time that we were there. And I said, you lost 2 soldiers. Is that with the guy that we were fighting last night? He said, no, we lost 2 soldiers that we sent to buy guns, and the police intercepted them. Mm-hmm. And then they took all the money. The population took them over and killed them.
Wow.
When I came out of the compound, they took me out. that's when I find out that it was a police officer and a guy who works for the government. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So this is how corrupt this country is. How could you be a police officer and you are in service of a gang member buying guns for them?
So sad, man.
So this is where my fear is coming from. There are police officers out there and government officials and rich people actually working with those people, those gangs, illiterates. I mean, this kind of also the recruitment as well. It's crazy. And how I come to find out how they do and how they recruited soldiers. It's from the streets. Kids that are on the streets have no mother, have no father. He recruited them, he gave them food and feed them and put guns in their hands. There's a 12-year-old boy with a M16, and I asked him, "Can you shoot this gun?" He said, "Yes, I already passed 2 charges there. They show me how to shoot."
Oh my God.
And I asked one of the guys, Silapli, that was with them. I asked Silapli, this boy told me that he can shoot that gun. Is that true? He said, "I'm the one who trained him."
Wow. 12 years old.
12 years old. I don't even know how to use these guns, but this little boy knows.
So when they released you, what did you do?
Going to release us. And they asked me, which part would you prefer that we would drop you? I said, you can drop me in Quadribuque area, not too far from the bridge, and then I'll find my way home. Mm-hmm. Which they put me in, I think it was a 10 convoy of cars. We were in the middle. 5 was behind us, 5 was in front of us.
Wow.
And they were full with guns and full with soldiers. And they were packed like chicken in the back of the pickup truck. Wow. With big guns. And they dropped us where we told them to drop us not too far. I told them not too far. And then we came down and then we salute them. I said, "Okay guys, thank you." And I check out. I drive as fast. I never stop on the road. I drive until we get to Pétionville. That's where the car broke down with us. And then I was thinking that, are they gonna kidnap us? I said, we're safe here, we're safe. Don't worry, we're safe. And there was some motorcycle guys I know that was not too far from where the car broke down. And I called them. I said, can you help us push that car so it doesn't block the road, so we can put it in a place where it would be safe. And then they came. And I find volunteers as well coming. And we all pushed the car out. And I was in the car directing it. And we put the car in a safe place, and then we took a motorcycle and go to a hotel, and that's where the negotiator that was out there helping us with releasing, we met him, and then we went to another hotel.
So everything was fine after